A nun is jolted awake in the middle of the night by a child she's never seen before.
The child glows with light. He calls her by name, and he tells her the Blessed Mother is waiting for you.
She follows him down a hallway into the chapel and then stops. Somebody is sitting in the priest's chair, the seat reserved for the clergy.
A woman, radiant, hands open, eyes full of love.
It's the Virgin Mary, and she's about to reveal something that will spread around the world, bringing miracles for nearly 200 years.
And it all begins with a quiet young novice in Paris who told no one what she saw.
This is a true story of the Miraculous Medal, the medal Mary designed herself. Welcome to episode 4 of our Advent series. We're exploring Marian apparitions in preparation for Christmas.
To understand Catherine's mission, we have to go back to when she was just 9 years old. Her mother had died, and Catherine was heartbroken.
One day she climbed onto a chair, reached for a statue of Mary, kissed it, and whispered, "Now, dear lady, you're to be my mother." No one around her realized how literally heaven would answer that prayer.
Years later, Catherine joined the Daughters of Charity at 140 Rue du Bac in Paris. She was quiet, humble, devoted. No one expected anything extraordinary from her.
But on the night of July 18th, 1830, everything was about to change. Just before midnight, Catherine is awakened by a child at her bedside, a boy of about 5. He says, "Sister Labouré, come to the chapel. The Blessed Virgin awaits you."
He then leads her down the corridor, and the doors open by themselves. Inside the chapel is ablaze with candlelight, brighter than anything Catherine had ever seen.
She hears the sound of a rustle of silk and turns and sees Mary seated in the priest's chair. Her face is radiant. Her presence fills the room with peace.
Catherine kneels at Mary's feet. Mary speaks with her for hours, comforting her, warning her of trials coming to France and to the church, and preparing her for a mission.
According to Catherine, she rested her hands in Mary's lap, calling it the sweetest moment of my life. Now, this is interesting. She is recognized as the only visionary of a Marian apparition who's physically touched Our Lady.
Before departing, Mary says, "My child, God wishes to charge you with a mission. You will have much to suffer, but the grace of God will be with you." 4 months later, on November 27th of 1830, during evening meditation, Mary appears again.
This time, Catherine sees Mary inside a large oval frame, standing on a globe that represents the entire world. Under Mary's feet, Catherine sees a large serpent crushed.
Mary's hands are covered in rings set with precious stones. Dazzling rays stream from them. Mary explains, "These rays symbolize the graces I shed upon those who ask for them."
Now, Catherine notices that some of the rings have no rays. She asks why, and Mary replies, "These are the graces for which people forget to ask."
Around Mary appears the words, "O Mary, conceived without sin, pray for us who have recourse to thee."
Then the vision turns, revealing the back of the medal, a large M crowned by a cross, 12 stars, and 2 hearts. The Sacred Heart crowned with thorns, and the Immaculate Heart pierced by a sword.
Mary says, "Have a medal struck according to this model. Everyone who wears it with confidence will receive great graces."
Now, Catherine only tells her spiritual confessor, Father Aladel, about this experience, and then keeps her identity about this hidden her entire life.
But after careful examination, the local archbishop orders the medals made. In 1832, the first 1,500 medals are struck.
Then Paris is hit by a deadly cholera outbreak. The sisters distribute the medals. Reports pour in, healings, conversion, protection.
Within 2 years, more than 1 million medals spread across France. Within a decade, 10 million.
And through all of this, Catherine remains completely hidden, unknown. She serves quietly the elderly, and she remains a hidden visionary.
Catherine dies in 1876, having never revealed her secret to anyone except her confessor.
In 1933, her body is exhumed and found incorrupt. Today, she rests in a glass tomb in the chapel of Rue du Bac where Mary appeared to her.
Millions visit the chapel every year to pray where Catherine knelt, the place where heaven touched earth.
And about that medal, it was designed by Mary. That means nothing about it is random. So every symbol, every line, all of it has theological meaning. It's intentional. In other words, it's the gospel in miniature.
Mary stands on a globe, showing her queenship and her assumption into heaven. Under her feet, the serpent of Genesis 3:15, the victory of Christ through Mary.
Her hands are open, pouring out rays of light. These rays, Mary said, are the graces she gives to those who ask. And the rays missing? Well, those are the graces people forget to ask for.
Around the image, the prayer heaven gave to the church. O Mary, conceived without sin, pray for us who have recourse to thee.
In just one image, Mary reveals her identity. Mother, her open arms. Immaculate, conceived without sin. Assumed, standing above the world. Mediatrix, pouring out graces. Protector, crushing the serpent.
The large M shows Mary's motherhood and mediation. The cross rising from it shows her inseparable union with Christ's sacrifice.
The 12 stars recall the apostles, the foundation of the church.
And the two hearts, the Sacred Heart crowned with thorns, and the Immaculate Heart pierced by a sword, both burning with love for humanity.
Let's chat about one aspect about this medal, and that is the rays that go forward, but not every finger, is it, or ring?
Yeah, there's some rays that are missing from some of her fingers.
Yeah, let's chat about that.
St. Alphonsus prays, "Nothing then can hinder me from receiving your graces, but my neglect to invoke you, or my want of confidence in your intercession. But you yourself must obtain for me the grace to seek thee, and this grace of confidence in your intercession."
So we must ask for the grace to have confidence in Mary. But St. Alphonsus is saying more than that. We must ask also for the grace to seek Mary. Now, sometimes get uncomfortable with this. Like, why should we seek Mary? Is this going to detract from Jesus? Well, remember the Magi. When they went into the manger, what did they see? They saw Mary with Jesus. And when we ask for the grace to have confidence in Mary and to seek Mary, we will find always Mary with Jesus.
St. Alphonsus, quoting St. Bonaventure about Mary, says, "She considers herself injured by those who do not ask favors of her. For this is the desire of Mary, to enrich all with her graces. She superabundantly enriches her servants. And she obtains from God whatever she asks in favor of her servants."
You don't want to injure Mary, do you? St. Alphonsus' point is that we have to ask Mary to shower us with graces. I think there's two problems when it comes to asking Mary's intercession that sometimes we fall into. One, we don't ask. And so we've already talked about that, okay? But secondly, we don't ask big enough. Now, I want you to imagine this analogy. You're a parent and your child is terminally ill. They're in great pain. And so they ask for pain relief, and you happen to have it. So you administer them pain relief, and they get some comfort. Now, in that moment, the child gets consolation, and you, as the giver, also find consolation because your child, who you love, is the pain is released from them. Now, imagine that you just don't have the pain relief for their terminal illness, but you also have the cure. How much more joy it will bring you to give them the cure for their terminal illness than just the pain relief. And so I think so it is maybe with Mary. We go to her, and much of what we're asking of her is pain relief. Mary, remove this cross. Help me with this sickness. Remove this thorn. Help me with this person. And a lot of it is basically looking at our circumstances and asking her to make it easier. In other words, pain relief. And I think sometimes in our prayer, we're much more anxious for God to change our circumstances than for God to change our hearts. But when we go to Mary and we intercede, ask her intercession, and she actually maybe does change our circumstances, it's always for the purpose of changing our hearts, so that they would be conformed to what? to the cure. And what is the cure? The cure is not a what, it is a who. It is her son. That's asking big. So we ask Mary's intercession, and is it okay to ask her for pain relief in all those areas of her life? Sure. But for always the understanding that she's going to always lead us to Jesus, because Mary is always found with Jesus. Our Lady of the Miraculous Medal, pray for us.